there, it's another edition of Coffee with the Goose. Thanks for joining me once again, and you know we've got the latest and hopefully the best boxing news for you, and we're very excited about the latest news. Manny Pacquiao all set to fight Errol Spence Jr. for a unification bout in the world welterweight division, and that'll be in August in Vegas. More details coming up. First, it is Coffee with the Goose. You know, we got to have our coffee. And my coffee, very strong, like my opinion, and got some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. All right. This is, we've waited a long time for this announcement, and we got it a short time ago. For real, for good. A real fighter, and that's what we expect. We don't just, look up to Manny Pacquiao because of his skill, because of his accomplishments, and all of his accolades, and he's got many in and out of the ring. But we look up to him because he fights the best. And with respect to Floyd Mayweather as a fighter and a championship fighter, Manny Pacquiao, and look it up if you don't believe me, Manny Pacquiao has fought, and including rematches, okay? That's where people get a little mixed up. He has fought and defeated more champions than any fighter ever in the history of the sport. And another championship fighter is going to step into the ring with him on August 21st in Las Vegas, and that's Errol Spence Jr. Spence, I respect this guy. He's earned it. On many fronts. First of all, he's a great fighter. He's a champion. He's 27-0 with 21 KOs. He has the WBO and IBF World Welterweight titles in his closet, and he has fought a very impressive array of championship fighters in his career and has beaten them all. He is to be respected, but not to be feared, because, they can all be beaten, all of them, including Manny Pacquiao. But let me just give you a little background on what Errol Spence Jr. is all about. Besides the fact that he's a champion and he's fought all these great fighters, but he's coming off, he's got many things in common with Manny Pacquiao. He's a family man. He's a Christian. He's left-handed, and he has been humbled. He was involved in a horrific car crash shortly after his win over Sean Porter a couple of years ago. Lucky to be alive, and very fortunate to come out of that with very minimal injuries. He was banged up a little bit, and his memory's a little damaged. I know all about that, but he's got his mind right. He's a native of New York, has been living in the Dallas area for quite a while now, and he has, short time ago, moved out of his high-rise apartment in DeSoto, Texas, or Dallas, and bought a farm. He bought a 60-acre estate, if you will, and he's got 20 head of cattle. He's got horses and goats. He's learned how to ride horses. So I like this guy. He's a man's man. He's not just about boxing. He's got a life separate from that. He's a good guy. And he's not a trash talker, unless you're Terrence Crawford. But some people, I've seen a couple of videos since the announcement of his upcoming fight with Manny Pacquiao, and people who don't like him say, look, he's talking trash. He's making fun of Manny. No, he's not. He's just answering questions. He didn't say he wasn't, I'm not going to beat up Manny. He was answering a question. Are you going to beat up and bully Manny Pacquiao? No, I'm not going to do that. Are you, what was the other question? Are you going to retire him or something like that? And he said, no, he respects Pacquiao. He's not talking any trash. His motto is man down. That's not talking trash. He's knocked 21 guys out. So good for him. Errol Spence Jr. has shown respect to his opponent, Manny Pacquiao, because he knows Pacquiao has earned it. Now, let's talk about the dynamics here. I've praised Errol Spence Jr. for his abilities, his accomplishments, his undefeated record, his stellar resume. But who is he going to fight? And why do people think that this is easy pickings, this old guy from the Philippines, this 42-year-old guy who should be retired. Spence is just going to embarrass him. No. We've heard this story, this song and dance many times in the past, and it's never happened. Yes, Pacquiao has lost, but when you look at his resume, he's exacted revenge for many of those losses, and 3 of those losses were robberies. But I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to give you a short example of the list of champions that Manny Pacquiao has defeated, and this is truly amazing. Keith Thurman, his last fight 2 years ago, Thurman was an undefeated champion. Pacquiao dropped him in 2 minutes in the first round, ended up winning the decision. He's also defeated Adrian Broner, scored a KO over Lucas Matisse. He's fought Timothy Bradley 3 times, defeated him twice. The loss was a robbery. Everyone knows that one. He's fought Juan Manuel Marquez 4 times. He was defeated once. He won twice, and the draw was a robbery too. One of the judges admitted that they made a mistake in the scoring. Pacquiao has also defeated Shane Mosley. Antonio Margarito made him retire. Joshua Clottey, Miguel Cotto. I don't know if he made him retire, but beat him up pretty badly. He got a TKO on that one. Sent Ricky Hatton to the hospital. He's since retired. Made Oscar De La Hoya quit on the stool. He retired. Fought Barrera twice, beat him twice. And Eric Morales, a trio of brutal fights, and Pacquiao defeated him twice. So that's just a small sample of the great championship fighters that Manny Pacquiao has defeated. He is 62-7 with 2 draws, and 39 of those wins were knockouts. Now keep in mind, his next opponent, Errol Spence Jr., has only fought 27 times. Pacquiao has knocked 39 people out and made a lot of those retire. Don't tell me, with a straight face, that Pacquiao is going to, wins and losses come with the territory. But don't tell me Pacquiao is going to be embarrassed or schooled or made to retire by Errol Spence Jr. That's not going to happen. And if you do any research at all, you know that's not going to happen. And I say this with a lot of respect to Errol Spence Jr. It's going to be a great fight. They're both left-handers. Spence is taller, better reach. He's heavier. He's younger. But he's also slower. And Pacquiao's going to take advantage of that speed. And I'm not going to give the prediction. No, not going to do that. It's going to be a great fight. And God, we got to wait three months for this. This is crazy. But in those 3 months, guess who's going to give you the best news and the most up-to-date boxing news of anybody? And that's Coffee with the Goose and my great producer, Jude. Going to repeat what I said in our last video. I believe sometime in July, we'll go to LA, just like we did before the Thurman fight. And we're going to interview Freddie Roach and Justin Fortune and maybe somebody else. And then the fight itself will be in August in Vegas. And we have already, our wives, have already set up hotel rooms. We're going to be there the whole week. We're going to attend all those press conferences. We're going to get all the interviews. We're going to talk to Manny. We're going to talk to Freddie. We're going to talk to Justin, maybe Boo Boy just for fun. And we're also going to talk with Errol Spence Jr. We've got you covered, okay? Don't go anywhere else. You can talk, check the other channels just for comparison, but come on. You know who. Okay, I'm not going to toot our own horn, but we take it seriously. We're just going to give you honest-to-God truth and our opinions. We do a little research, okay? We're ready for this. Are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble, right? August 21st in Vegas. Bring it on. Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. This is so cool. And worth the wait. And we're going to be there. So stick with us. Coffee with the Goose, all right? You guys take care.